I don't think we're gonna have the interpreter. Okay.
To see if,
Do you need to stay back?
she gonna get it in.
I gotta get these back to Chief PTR. I just have to pull these out of order.
Ms. Adamson, it's out in county warrant anyway, so I'm not gonna be able to do anything with it.
Okay, there's a bond though.
Yes, he has a bond, but
Okay.
he got that Adam bond. That's the one that had the Adam bond case, Orange County case, it's,
But he's got a competency evaluation, right,
Right.
coming up?
on that, yes. Our Orange County case, he do on the 26th, he have a competency hearing.
It's a status hearing. He's already been,
Yeah, I mean,
He's already been found,
yes, that's what
so,
he said, status.
all right, I won't revoke the bond.
okay.
Okay, let me, just, okay, well, let me call after, you tell
So
him.
I can address it then without him, without a sign.
Okay, let me call and see.
Because I represent him on the Orange County case, and we'll be representing him.
Well, let me call her right quick and tell her that we don't, that she can do that. Go, Jeff.
Okay. All right, please state your name, sir.
Torvon Phillips.
And is there anybody here on Mr. Phillips' case? All right, sir, you've been charged with battery by strangulation, domestic violence, and false imprisonment. I reviewed the affidavit. I do find probable cause. Now, I see that there's no history, and he does qualify for PTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is that something that your client's interested in?
Most likely, let me double check.
Was it, who was it? Jones? No. No, you put one here for some.
I took my receipt. I can't remember Brandon Bird, just we're kind of trying to decide.
Yeah.
Well, he has a county board, Orange County case.
Do you want me to address it on the record still?
Okay.
You wanna
So he's
do,
in a
you want to
restoration
keep him out
program.
the way, or you guys
Okay.
get him as accident?
Leave this Orange County case as is, and
Since
whatever
we're not
happens.
gonna do anything, I can just do a resolution and get out of here.
So you don't see us chatting up there, and you're like, what are you talking about?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so, because the victim's not here though, I'm gonna order no contact with the alleged victim in this case. And also, it's not clear from the affidavit if they reside together. Can you find that out?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, Your Honor, they did live together. They're both on the lease, but he's informed me that he's going to be getting his stuff and leaving. So we would just ask for a one-time return.
Okay, yeah, so I'll require that you maintain separate residence. Did I hear you say you're going back to Tallahassee?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you be on PTR in a different county?
Yes.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'll allow you to return one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. And that's things like your toothbrush, your clothes, it's not furniture and stuff like that. So it's just personal belongings. And then you're also going to be required to meet all of your court appearances and all of the conditions of pretrial release, including not having any weapons, ammunition, or firearms.
Did you provisionally appoint the PD?
Oh, yes, and for the record, I am provisionally appointing the public defender on all cases today. All right, you got the no contact order? Okay, all right. And just one moment, ma'am, I'm gonna just call this case real quick, we're not gonna address it. Brandon Bird, counsel?
Alicia Adamson for the record here for Mr. Bird.
All right, Mr. Bird requires a sign interpreter, and we don't have a sign interpreter, but this is an out-of-county warrant, so I'll stay the bond on the out-of-county warrant, and I am not going to revoke the bond on the case number 2018 CF 10902AO, given the finding of incompetency and the status hearing coming up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This bond amount is $5,000.
Okay.
Good morning.
right,
My name is
please.
Yolanta. I am lawyer, international lawyer, making research. I need to call to diplomats.
All right, ma'am, you've been charged with trespass on property after warning and resisting an officer without violence. I reviewed the affidavit and I do find probable cause.
No, it's mistake. I need to call to.
Okay, ma'am, so let me explain to you, at this proceeding, this is just an initial appearance where I notify you of the charges against you. I can't get into the factual. If you have a factual dispute with what's in the affidavit, that's for a trial or through a motion filed by your attorney or yourself. But at this point, I can't get into the facts of what the officer said versus what you said. This isn't a proceeding for me to determine it. So it sounds like you're trying to tell me your version of the events, but that's irrelevant because I can't consider it at this proceeding.
I just need to say what I. Diplomats and lawyer, please, and my daughter. It was not possible yesterday and today. I need to contact diplomats who informed about case because I'm whistleblower and I'm witness.
Okay, I'm going to stay the bond at 500 on count 1 and 100 at count 2. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Can I call to diplomats and lawyer, please?
I have no idea what you're saying.
FBI informed and embassies informed.
Okay.
She get to use the phone. She needs to use the phone.
She needs to use the phone, yes. Please state your name. Say that one more time, sir, a little louder.
Edwin Pagan Cabrera.
Cabrera, Billy Robinson refused, Your Honor.
All right, we'll try to set Mr. Robinson again tomorrow. All right, and so this is a capias that was issued, and I will stay the bond at $500. Now, it's important if you do bond out that you appear for all of your court proceedings.
I had an accident in the middle of the term, and I was on.
All right, you can talk to the judge about it. The judge did give you a bond, so I have to, it's a capias, so the only thing I can do is stay the bond. I'm not
Right.
allowed to adjust it.
Thank you.
Just for a second.
Thank you, sir. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Fernanda Vicente.
Stephen Sears refused, Your Honor.
All right, we'll try to set Mr. Sears for tomorrow. Ms. Vicente. All right, you were charged with battery, domestic violence, and we have a witness here in Ms. Vicente's case.
You raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? State your name for the record.
Amber Vicente.
Come a little closer to the mic.
You can put your hand down and, yeah, come a little closer so I can hear
Amber
you.
Vicente.
Tell me your name again.
Amber Vicente.
Okay, so you're the victim, and who's with you? Is this your mother?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, ma'am, so you've been charged with battery, domestic violence, and what would you like the court to know, ma'am?
Me?
No, your daughter. What, you want to tell me anything about the incident? Are you afraid if your sister comes home, are you in fear?
No.
And do you all live together with your mom?
Yeah.
Everybody lives together?
Yeah.
And mom, if she comes home, are you afraid of the sister of your daughters fighting more?
No, she's a sweet girl. It was my mistake. It's first time they fight. That was the first time they fight. I was scared because I was driving. That was my mistake. I just want help to them to be separate. I didn't know they're gonna go that far. She's a sweet girl. I'm suffering. We haven't sleep for 2 days because she doesn't deserve to be here. She's a good girl.
All right, and now, I see, it says that she doesn't qualify for PTR, but I think it's because you had no information for her, is that right? Okay. If she, based on the testimony and the claim that they don't want to prosecute, you want me to do a bond or PTR if she does the requirements?
Yes, please.
Okay.
PTR or $1,000. Or if you let me inquire further, I can see if they object to her being released on her own recognizance.
Okay.
Ma'am, are you okay with your daughter being released on her own recognizant? Meaning she would not pay a bond, the judge would release her on her word?
Do not pay a bond and she go home?
Yes.
Yes, please. We need her home. It's my son, and we've been suffering.
Okay.
All right, if I do that, she does have to come back for any court appearance, though.
Okay, I bring her.
You wanted to ask her something else? No. All right, State, do you have any objection based on the totality of the circumstances?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, based on the totality of the circumstances, I'll release the defendant on her own recognizance. And ma'am, you just have to make sure that you meet any court appearance. And I am going to require, although nobody said they're in fear of you, I'm going to require that you have no hostile contact with your sister, which means no physical altercations. Okay. All right. Yeah, no weapons and no firearms.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming in. You may be excused. All right, please state your name.
Taylor. Taylor Andrew Snively.
All right, and do we have somebody here in Mr. Snively's case? No, okay. All right, and it seems like they all reside together. Is that accurate, counsel?
What's that?
They all reside together?
Yes.
All right, and we don't have anyone here, so I'm not going to be able to let them go back, but I see that there's some issues and he needs to be on his meds. Do you get regular treatment?
Oh, yes, ma'am. I just started a medication. I called the police because my mom...
It's okay. All right, okay, I'm gonna find probable cause. It doesn't say he's not eligible for PTR.
Judge, he wasn't interviewed, he just needs to be interviewed.
Okay, based on what I saw here, I'm gonna set bond at 500 or in the alternative PTR if he qualifies. I'm gonna require though that he maintain that he can't go back to the scene, can't go back to the residence, maintain a separate residence. He can go back one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve his personal belongings. I'm gonna require that he not have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition, and that he continued to participate in his mental health treatment, including taking his prescription drugs. Thank you. Where he's gonna go.
Hard time communicating. It's not. No.
All right, please tell me your name, sir.
Jermaine Jones Jr.
Mr. Jones. All right, you've been charged with 2 counts of battery on a uniformed security guard. Okay, I do find probable cause. I am going to stay the bonds. Count 1 is 2,500, count 2 is 150, and I'm going to revoke the bond in 2020 MM 103AA. Please tell me your name, sir.
Kenneth Hardy.
Mr. Hardy, see here, you were charged with possession of drug paraphernalia and disorderly conduct. Let me take a look at this. Okay, there was a field test, and so it's a misdemeanor and a city ordinance. You want to resolve it today?
Yes.
Well, let's see. We can't?
No, he can.
Oh, okay.
I was just looking.
How much time served does he have? How much time served? All right, he's got 2 days time served. Let me see here. He's got priors on both of these things. So it would be an adjudication, credit for time served, and court costs if the state's okay with that on both counts.
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Hardy, is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement today?
No, ma'am.
And are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking?
No, ma'am.
And the charges of disorderly conduct and possession of drug paraphernalia, how do you plead?
No contest.
I'll accept your plea of no contest in both of the cases. In both cases, I'm going to adjudicate you guilty of the offenses. I'm going to sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail to run concurrent and give you credit for time served of 2 days. And I'm going to assess mandatory court costs in both of the cases, and I'm going to give you 1 year to pay that off.
Okay.
All right, thank you, sir. Please follow the guard. Please tell me your name.
Dylan Warfield.
A little louder.
Dylan Warfield.
Mr. Warfield. All right, you've been charged with trespass, All right, and how much time served does Mr. Warfield have? And if you wanted to resolve it today, let's see here, I do see that you have prior conviction, so it would be an adjudication of guilt, credit for time served, and court costs, if that's okay with the state.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Warfield, is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement today?
No.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking?
No.
And on the charge of trespass, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I'll accept your plea of guilty. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail and give you credit for time served of 2 days. I'm also going to assess mandatory court costs. As to the financial obligations, I'm going to give you 1 year to pay that off. All right, thank you, sir. Please follow the guard. Please tell me your name.
Daquan Essers, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Essers, looks like you've been charged with violation of probation. And the judge said no bond. So we'll stay that, but you also have here a new charge of fleeing, attempting to elude a law enforcement officer with sirens and lights activated. Okay, I do find probable cause on the fleeing and eluding. You've also been charged with driving while license suspended. I find probable cause on that one. And then also providing false ID to a law enforcement officer, resisting an officer without violence. And I find probable cause on that one also. So the felony, the BOP is no bond. And so the fleeing and eluding, I just have to set that at IAs, is that it?
Yes, it comes in no bond until you see the judge, but since it's either a third-degree felony or a second-degree felony, depending on how it's charged, he's entitled to one.
All right, on the fleeing and eluding, I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500. On driving while license suspended, I'll stay the bond at $500. And at providing false ID to law enforcement officers and resisting officers, I'll stay the bonds at $500 and $100 respectively.
You're welcome.
Please tell me your name.
Allende Franco.
No, Spanish not ready, so. Oh, this is regular, which is, okay, which is, what's his name?
This is Mr. Allende, Franco Allende.
Okay. Emphasis is, yeah. we missed some. We're missing on the back of the name.
It's okay.
Can you do his face sheet? Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Alande, you've been charged with aggravated assault, domestic violence, and aggravated assault with a weapon. Is anybody here on Mr. Alande's case? Okay. Okay, I do find probable cause. It says in the affidavit, it says that they are residing together.
Yes.
So I am going to, because we don't have the victim here, I am going to order that you maintain a separate residence, that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. I will allow you to return one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. There's also indication in the report that there was some drinking, so I'll require that you not consume alcoholic beverages to the point of intoxication. I'm going to set bond on count 1 of $1,000 and count 2 of $500.
Your Honor, may I speak? That's my house.
Thank you. Please tell me your name.
German Colon Robles.
Mr. Cologne, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. We have no victims here.
No, yeah.
All right, I do find probable cause. I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence and that you have no contact with the alleged victim or the minor children. You may return one time with law enforcement officers to obtain your personal belongings. I'm going to require that you not possess any firearms, ammunition, or weapons. If you have any, I'm going to require that you turn them over to the sheriff's department within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. And whenever you turn in those weapons at the sheriff's department, leave them in the trunk of your car and let the sheriff know that you're there to turn in weapons, and they'll come out to the car and get them. Don't walk in to the sheriff's office holding weapons. I'm going to set bond in this case in the amount of $5,000. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Leroy Jones, ma'am.
Mr. Jones, you've been charged with aggravated battery, domestic violence. Anybody here on Mr. Jones? Okay. All right, do find probable cause. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000 in this case. I require that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you maintain a separate residence, that you not consume alcoholic beverages to the point of intoxication, that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any weapons or firearms or ammunition, you need to turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Please tell me your name.
Bernard Lee.
Mr. Lee, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, domestic violence. Okay, I do find probable cause. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you're going to have to maintain a separate residence. You may return one time with law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. I require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have any weapons other than what was seized at the time, you're to turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. I see you want to say something. Tell the attorney first, and she'll let me know if you can tell me.
He qualifies for pretrial release. That's what he wants to tell you.
Oh, I was looking at Mr. Jones's. Okay, hold on.
Your Honor, I know the alleged victim isn't here, but this is his house, and if you look at the affidavit, his brother was visiting his house.
It said that they resided together for a few months.
Just say maintain, you didn't say he had to go back. You said maintain.
Yeah, I said maintain separate residences, so if
Oh, so
the
he-
brother.
okay.
Yeah. But I do see that you do qualify for PTR, and also you're a veteran. And so you might also be eligible for Veterans Court is something to consider. So would you like to participate in the PTR program, the pretrial release?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, since you qualify for that, I'll allow you to participate in the pretrial release. Are you getting any services from the VA right now?
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. I'll allow you to participate in PTR, continue to get your services from the VA. Are you getting any mental health counseling?
For
PTSD or?
anxiety.
Okay, all right, so you're getting help right now?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, continue on with that.
Okay.
All right, sir, thank you. Please tell me your name.
Robert Ross.
All right, Mr. Ross, you've been charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon, battery by strangulation, domestic violence, aggravated assault upon a pregnant person, aggravated battery on a pregnant person, domestic violence, and aggravated assault with a deadly weapon.
You need 2 forms, or just 1? 2 forms? I mean, I'm talking about, he needs to get 1 and you get 1.
All right, I do find probable cause.
Your name qualifies for pretrial release.
Given the, I have no priors, but this is a particularly, as alleged, a particularly
Do you have for this one?
Judge, the victim just showed up, she's downstairs, I guess, do you want to skip them, and so the officer could look at the victim, or?
yes.
Just step back. Just step back there, just step back, come on, you could do, Mr. Smith until the victim comes in.
Okay. Please tell me your name, sir.
Tony Smith?
Mr. Smith, you've been charged with false imprisonment, domestic violence, and battery, domestic violence, and then just also simple battery. No victim here.
It says that you do.
All right, I do find probable cause on all 3 charges. Because we have no victims here, I am going to require that you have no contact with either of the alleged victims. I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence. I'm going to require that you not consume any alcoholic beverages or illegal drugs, and that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you have anything like that, you have to turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Now, he does qualify for PTR. Is that,
Yes, he does want pretrial release if the court's inclined.
all right, and since I am going to require them maintain separate, in the affidavit, it said they've been living together for a couple months, but I don't know whose home it is. So I don't know if that's gonna be an issue with PTR also. It was at a different location?
Yes, so he has a place to go.
All right, then I'll allow him to participate in PTR. I'll order PTR. Yes. Thank you.
He had 2 cases. Yeah, he got another battery.
I said that one.
Oh, you did?
I addressed it.
Oh, it's okay. She addressed it. She addressed it.
I addressed it, yeah. That's okay.
But the DV is.
Yeah, I did both of them.
So you want the same condition on the simple battery?
Yeah, because the two females were together. It was all, one he's in a relationship with and one he isn't.
Okay.
All right, please tell me your name.
Amen Allah.
Mr. Allah, you've been charged with battery. All right, I do find probable cause. All right, they're brothers, but it wasn't charged as a DV, is that right? It's just charged as a regular battery?
It's charged as a DV. They have the domestic violence box checked. They didn't show up on it.
Okay, because usually they put it here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's not, they don't say DV.
And it's 2 counts.
Okay, that's a weird affidavit. All right, there is probable cause and the brother's not here. And now they were out, they weren't at home. Do they reside together? Oh, ask the attorney.
Yes, Your Honor, they do live together, and he said that he can go somewhere else.
All right, so I'll find probable cause. It does not qualify for PTR. I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $1,000, and I'm gonna require that you maintain a separate residence. You may return, if your brother's at the same house where you live, you may return there one time with law enforcement officers to get your personal belongings. I'm going to require that you have no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Thank you. If you do own any, you'll have to turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
So Judge, that's 500 count 1 and count 2? You got 2 batteries.
It's 1,000 on count 1 and 150 on count 2.
Okay, and then the Casey out on bond, you taking no action on it?
May I
sorry.
be heard on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
Your Honor, he was arrested on that January 21st, and there's still no information filed to date.
Okay, there hasn't been information filed?
No, Your Honor, I just checked.
All right, because there's no information filed on that case, I'm not going to revoke the bond.
Thank you.
All right.
This is,
Mr. Smith?
Has showed up.
Mr. Ross?
Yes, the Ross.
Robert Ross. All right, would the alleged victim and Robert Ross please come forward?
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Randy Ross.
Gabrielle Thompson.
All right, Ms. Thompson?
Yes.
All right, and do you, what would you like the court to know?
At this moment, when the situation happened, I really didn't think that he would come towards me, but I am in fear for my life, and I don't want nothing to do with him. I didn't give him permission to touch me nor have a knife to me. That's all I have to say.
Okay, and you are in fear?
Yes.
All right, and the other, ma'am, you weren't a victim, right? You're just here as moral support?
Yeah. He's the one that stabbed me.
I just got Gabrielle. She's is she, or what's your name?
Randy.
Okay, you're the Randy, okay. All right, ma'am, what would you like me to know?
At first, I didn't want to press any charges, but his sister, they threatened me that I should tell lie that is my sister stabbed me and all of that. And I'm saying, why would I do that? Why would I don't even want him in jail or anything like that. But it's them, the one that saying that I'm not going to be safe because they're going to drop me if I don't do it, if I make the brother go to prison.
Okay.
And I'm in fear because I don't want them to do that.
Your Honor, may I inquire?
You may.
I'm sorry, could you please state your name for the record?
Randy.
Randy Ross?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you say that the other witnesses threatened to jump you if you didn't lie?
Yeah, they're not the sister, his sister.
Who's his sister?
Ashley and Nicole and his mom, they called me and said that because at first I thought they was trying to say, all right, they understand my situation. No, I'm a B and I'm a liar and I'm all this, and I'm like, oh my God, why would I lie on him? He's my husband. Why would I tell such a lie on him? For what reason? What's the reason to lie about him?
But he's saying that Mr. Ross's family is threatening her, not.
I thought they said the other witnesses were.
Yeah, no, she's saying that his family is threatening her, not, you're not saying that Gabrielle is threatening you, right?
No.
Okay. All right.
I just wanted to make sure no one's.
Right. Okay, all right, thank you very much for coming in and testifying. All right, or for just being here today. All right, again, I already have found probable cause, and I'm gonna require no contact with the victims, maintain a separate residence, may return one time with law enforcement officers to get personal belongings, no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. It was a knife used in this, but if you have any firearms, you must turn them over to the Orange County, or any other weapons, you must turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. I'm not, given the serious nature of the charges, I'm not comfortable with PTR in this case. I am on count 1, I'm gonna set bond in the amount of $5,000, and in each of the remaining counts, I'll set bond in the amount of $250 in counts 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, sir, if you'll please tell me your name.
Randall Clark.
Mr. Clark, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. All right, I do find probable cause. You do qualify for a PTR. Is that something that you're interested in participating in?
Yes, sir.
All right, I'll order pretrial release. Now, it says that the alleged victim was moving out when the incident took place, so I will require that you have no contact and that you maintain separate residences. I'm going to require that you have no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such thing, you have to turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Please step forward and tell me your name.
Rodney Farrell.
Mr. Farrell. In that case.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony shall give be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Lois Clayton Brown.
All right, Ms. Brown, what would you like the court to know?
That he had too much to drink that night. He's a good person. And That's about it. He just went overboard drinking.
And if he returns home, are you in fear?
No, ma'am.
And you two reside together?
Yes.
And has this happened before, where he drinks too much and he hits you with his fist?
No, ma'am.
All right, and do you think that's okay if somebody just drinks too much?
No, he's gonna stop. No, that's it. It's nothing seriously. He just went overboard, running his mouth in front of the police, and then he pushed it. Other than that, everything is fine.
Do you want to inquire?
Are you afraid of Mr. Farrow?
No, ma'am.
Like to have contact with Mr. Farrow?
They part?
Would you like to have contact with Mr. Farrow?
Sure.
Do the two of you live together?
Yes.
Would you like him to be able to come back home?
Sure.
If he were to threaten you or try to put his hands on you, would you call the police?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. He's not eligible for PTR, but I'll set bond in the amount of $500. And I'll require that you have no hostile contact with the victim. No, you can't get into any altercations with her. I'm also going to require that you not consume alcoholic beverages to the point of intoxication, because that appears to be an issue. And if you have any weapons or firearms, you need to turn them over to the Orange County Sheriff's within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. All right, thank you, sir. Please tell me your name.
Slavario Hollinger.
All right, Mr. Hollinger, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. All right, there is probable cause. I don't see a victim here. I require that you have no contact with the alleged victim. And it looks like they're neighbors? Is that right? It's a neighbor?
No, it's, he said that this is fiance.
Oh, okay, all right, so it's a little bit confusing.
There was a neighbor who was around.
Okay, and he does qualify for PTR. Is that something that you'd like to participate in?
Yes.
All right, so I'll order PTR, no contact with the alleged victim. You must maintain a separate residence. You may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. I'm also going to require that you have no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such thing, you must turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
Okay.
All right, please step through there. Please step forward and tell me your name. Please tell me your name. A little louder? I didn't hear you.
Daniel Massey.
Okay. Mr. Marseille, you've been charged with 3 counts of battery, domestic violence. All right, I do find probable cause. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the 3 victims. I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence. You may return one time to the residence in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. I require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. Mr. Marseille does qualify for PTR. Is that something that he's interested in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll order pretrial release. And it's 11 o'clock, so we'll take two more and then.
Take these two and then we'll do ourselves.
All right, please tell me your name.
Alicia Mendiola.
Miss Mendiola, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. All right, do find probable cause. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,000. She does not qualify for PTR. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim, that you maintain a separate residence from the alleged victim, that you not have any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such thing, you must surrender it to law enforcement officers within 24 hours of your release. No contact with the victim includes the minor child.
That's my daughter.
It's a shared daughter? It
Yeah,
says-
that's my daughter. He doesn't take care of her. She's with me 24/7.
Your Honor, they are married, and I would ask the court to allow third-party contact so that she could still have contact with her child, because the child's not an alleged victim in this case.
Okay, and is there a mechanism for that then?
Yes, her mother can do the switch-offs so that she can have contact with her child.
All right, so we'll allow contact with the minor child through a third party only. Now, you can't use your minor child to send messages to your husband. Your mother can facilitate visitation, but it's not a means to use the child to communicate with with your husband.
No,
'cause
I
I'm
understand.
ordering
I don't
no
need to
contact.
communicate with him. No.
Okay. All right, thank you, ma'am. Please tell me your name.
Jacob Rivera.
We have, sir, you've been charged with battery, dating violence, and we have a witness here.
Raise your right hand. Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, ma'am.
State your name for the record.
Joyce Hinkfoth.
All right, I do find probable cause. Ms. Hickbaum, what would you like me to know?
Ma'am, this was a lover's quarrel that got extremely out of hand. I pushed him too far. He did not cause any physical harm to me. I tripped. It was my fault. I would like to drop all charges. and see this man released. I want contact with him. I'm in love with him. And I believe that we can work things out.
Do you want to inquire anything?
No, Your Honor, I think she's testified to everything.
All right, he doesn't qualify for PTR.
I have him as qualifying. We have different face sheets. We're on Jacob Rivera, right?
I keep not changing my paper. Sorry. Yes, Mr. Rivera does qualify for PTR. Is that something you'd like to do?
Yes.
All right, so I'll order PTR and I'll just require that there be no hostile contact, which means no physical altercations, verbal. Huh? And yes, you may not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any, you must turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
I understand.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, Your Honor. The Spanish interpreter is on the line.
Okay, just one moment. Mr. Bigby, who was your client?
Contreras Jones.
We're getting his time, Your Honor.
Okay.
What are you, a felony, do you?
He's a felony. It's a regular felony.
Regular felony, no.
We're giving him this in that. This is the victim out there, that's the last victim.
Okay. All right, and please tell me your name, sir.
Adam Mulder.
Okay. What happened to Rosario?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. We do have him. I'm sorry. I slipped him by mistake.
Okay, no, but that's okay. We'll take,
Because he had a victim out
yeah,
there before.
that's good. Yeah.
So she's here for Mr. Waldo.
You're here for Mr. Waldo's case? Okay, and sir, you've been charged with assault, domestic violence, if you swear in the witness.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Janine Torres.
Oh, I'm familiar with this one. Okay, all right, ma'am. Are you in fear of Mr. Waldo?
I'm in fear of his mental health status right now.
And you don't want any contact with him until he gets some help?
Yes.
Do you want to inquire of her? All right, Mr. Waldo, I do find probable cause. You do qualify for PTR. However, the allegations in this case and the history and the fact that you made the threat in front of your son and he saw you say that and he told
It was not in front of the children. It was to me.
I know, but the other time, when he said he was going to kill you in front of your son and your son read his lips and he said that. So there was that. That's what he told the deputy. I mean, all I can go by is what's in here, and that's what he told the deputy. So I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim and the minor children. That includes through social media, Facebook, texting. Now, you can petition to the judge for additional orders on the kids because they see them a lot, right?
We have a shared parenting plan.
Shared parenting plan. Is that going to cause, if you want him to continue to have contact with the children, because you have to meet them to pick them up from daycare and everything, so how's that?
It wouldn't be meeting, it would be at different locations. But I guess I don't know how that works with what was said the other night.
Right, yeah. That's why At this point, I'm gonna order no contact with the minor children, so I'm not gonna allow, because I don't, just based on the allegations, the judge assigned to the case can hear it further, but based on the allegations, and Mr. Waldo, I do know that you're in possession of firearms, ammunition. You do have to surrender all of that to the Orange County Sheriff's Department. I think they've already come to get those from you, or they've served you with that order. I entered a separate order requiring you to turn in all of your weapons, and you need to do that within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. And just make sure when you go to the Sheriff's Department, you leave them in the trunk of the car, or that you have a deputy with you whenever you do that. And
So no weapon, no firearm,
maintain, they already have separate residents, no contact with the victim and the minor children, no weapons.
And my son, who is 20, he's not minor, because, right?
Yeah,
Because he
that's
does not
fine.
want to be included in that.
Okay, yeah, it's just the minor children. And now, but you can't use the 20-year-old to get, Mr. Waldo, you can't use your 20-year-old son to communicate in a way that you can't do it directly. So you can't use him to pass messages to your ex-wife or the other children.
I can still speak to my 20-year-old?
Yes, that
But
it's
not
to
my
the
other
minor children.
I can't speak to the minor children?
Not at this time.
Okay.
That can be addressed. The judge who's assigned to the case can figure out a way to facilitate that.
Because I have custody of them until this
Okay.
false allegation.
But you don't right now, so.
Okay.
All right, sir. Please step through there. Thank you for coming in. Yes. All right, Mr. Jones.
Cadradis Jones,
Cadradis,
Your Honor.
all right.
David Bigney on behalf of Cadradis Jones.
All right. And this is an out-of-state warrant?
No.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's just here in Orange County.
Yes.
I thought it was a bond. Okay. So it was pursuant to an arrest warrant, and the charges are trafficking in cocaine, trafficking in meth, possession of cannabis with intent to sell, deliver with a weapon, possession of firearm, ammunition by a convicted felon. I don't have the affidavit, I only have the arrest warrant. But because judge found probable cause, I'll find probable cause, but we can set the bond.
Right, I would like to just discuss the bond aspect of
Okay.
it. Obviously, without, I don't have it either. I know a little bit about it, but I don't have the affidavit. So I'd just like to discuss the bond aspect of it.
Okay,
Every one of these counts, he's entitled to a bond. From the bond perspective, obviously without a probable cause, and you can see from his history, I think that's the only thing that they included, which is strange. In the past, I guess, 7 to 10 years, he had a possession of a controlled substance. I saw in 2014, I forget what was before that. He's lived in Florida, Central Florida, I believe his entire life. He's not a flight risk. I don't know that there's any evidence that he has ever fled or missed any court. He's never missed court, so we would ask that the court, in granting a bond, grant a low bond. We're asking for a $10,000 bond on count 150 on the remaining counts.
State, do you have a position?
Not at this time, Your Honor. I'll leave it in your discretion.
Let me see if the warrant is in the court file. Do you have that one? Do you have it,
Yes.
Mr. Jones? Is the warrant there? Or?
No, we called warrants and they didn't have a copy either, so.
All right, since I don't have the actual warrant to look at, I think that that's reasonable based on the history of the case, so I'll set bond in count 1 of $10,000 and counts 2, 3, and 4, what'd you ask for?
150.
150 on each of those counts.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yes. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Now we'll go Osceola.
Just they email them. I want to know if they read.
We finished out 2 Spanish, we just got 2 Spanish DVs.
Oh, we only have 2 Spanish here?
Well, we have more than, but we have the 2 DV that the victims are out there. That we-
Oh, yeah. If we got a victim here, we can go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and do it. Okay, I'll let ourselves know then. Is it Spanish interpreter online?
We'll just do the 2 victims then.
Yes, I hear it.
Mr. Figueroa, are you there?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're getting ready for you. Have you been sworn in? Yes, we swore you in over a juvenile, right?
Yes, correct, Your Honor.
Okay.
Which case are we addressing right now?
Which 2 got the victims?
I don't know which 2 is that.
I don't know.
So Aguirre, the first one?
The first one, and,
Number 18 is the victim is Spanish.
Who?
18.
I don't know who's 18.
Rosario, I'm sorry. Rosario on page 2.
Rosario.
He's the last one.
So he's not on my Spanish list?
No.
He was next, though.
Oh, he's next, okay.
But he also speaks Spanish, so we might as well utilize
Yeah, but
the
his
interpreter.
victim speaks Spanish.
Oh,
Okay.
So Louis, the misdemeanor Louis Rosario, okay. Ooh, yes, Judge, I'm with you signing like.
Either Rosario or Aguirre.
that's the Aguirre's victim. Aguirre?
And Mr. Aguirre needs Spanish interpreter,
Okay.
I think.
But Rosario, his victims is on one, okay.
Yeah.
This is Aguirre.
All right, Mr. Figueroa, the defendant has the headsets on, if you can make contact.
Sí.
He can hear me, Your Honor.
All right, sir, please state your name.
Rafael Aguirre.
Rafael Aguirre.
And this is case number 2020-CF3478AO. Sir, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, domestic violence. And we have a victim here.
Does she need an interpreter? No? Okay, raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Sí.
I think she need an interpreter. I don't know, does she?
Ma'am, do you require an interpreter?
Señora, ¿necesita intérprete de español?
Sí, por favor.
Yes.
Okay, raise your right hand.
Levante la mano derecha.
Do you swear affirm the testimony shall give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
¿Jura que el testimonio que rendirá será la verdad, solo la verdad y nada más que la verdad?
Sí.
Yes.
State your name for the record.
Diga su nombre, por favor.
Alicia Aguirre.
Alicia Aguirre.
All right, sir, I do find probable cause. Ma'am, are you in fear of Mr. Aguirre?
Bien, señor, determino que existen indicios de criminalidad. Señora, ¿siente usted temor del señor Aguirre?
No.
No.
You frequently have a firearm pointed at your head?
¿Usted tiene un arma apuntada a la cabeza con frecuencia?
No.
No.
That didn't cause you any fear?
¿Y eso no le causó ningún temor?
No, porque yo no recuerdo eso. Yo estaba
No, because I don't remember that. I was drunk.
Okay. Do you want to inquire of the alleged victim, Madam
Yes.
Public Defender?
Ma'am, would you like to have contact with Mr. Aguirre?
Señora, ¿quisiera usted tener contacto con el señor Aguirre?
Sí.
Yes.
Do the two of you live together?
¿Ambos ustedes vivían juntos?
Sí.
Yes.
Would you like for him to be able to live with you?
quisiera que él regresara a vivir con usted?
Sí.
Yes.
If he were to lay his hands on you or threaten you with a weapon or threaten you in any way, would you call law enforcement?
Si él fuese a ponerle la mano encima o amenazarla con un arma o amenazarla de alguna manera, ¿usted llamaría a las autoridades?
Sí.
Yes.
I have nothing further.
No tengo más preguntas.
Gracias. Despite the testimony of the victim, I'm in fear for the victim. I'm going to require that there be no contact. Sir, you must surrender all of your weapons, firearms, ammunition to the Orange County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim. You must maintain a separate residence. You may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. When you turn in the firearms to the Orange County Sheriff, I don't know if they were all taken. It says there was one used in the incident and that you had a bag full of them. I don't know if they were all taken at the time of the incident, but if you still have those weapons, when you go to turn them in to the Orange County Sheriff's Office, leave them in the trunk of your car and go let a deputy know that you're surrendering your weapons pursuant to a court order, and they'll come out to the car. Don't take a bag full of weapons into the Sheriff's Department.
Bien, señor. Aún dado el caso del testimonio de la víctima, yo siento temor por la víctima, así que le prohibiré el contacto, ningún tipo de contacto con la víctima. El arma de fuego y cualquier arma de fuego que usted tenga debe entregarla dentro de 24 horas del momento en que quede en libertad. Fijaré la fianza en $5,000. Usted debe buscarse otro paradero que no sea en la misma residencia. Le permitiré regresar una sola vez junto a las autoridades para recoger sus pertenencias personales. Y de nuevo, cero contacto con la víctima, ningún tipo de contacto. Cuando vaya a la oficina del sheriff a entregar sus armas, porque en el affidavit decía que había un arma que fue la que usó en este incidente, que la recogieron, pero que había una bolsa llena de armas. No sé si esa bolsa llena de armas también la recogieron las autoridades o no, pero cuando vaya a la oficina del sheriff a dejar las armas, deje la bolsa de armas en el baúl del coche, baje a la oficina y dígales que tiene armas en el carro para entregarlas. No entre a la oficina del sheriff con una bolsa llena de armas porque eso le va a causar problemas. ¿Bien?
Está bien.
Ok.
Thank you, sir.
Gracias.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for coming in. You may be excused.
Gracias, señora.
Your Honor, and for the bond amount?
It was 5,000.
Thank you. Sorry.
No, I don't speak English. Okay, okay.
We need an interpreter, we just don't know the victim, no one just need an interpreter.
And Mr. Figueroa, it's just the victim that requires an interpreter, it's not the defendant.
Okay,
And-
Your Honor.
And so if you don't require an interpreter?
No.
Oh,
Well, that's what she informed the officers, that she's.
okay. You don't require an interpreter?
No.
All right, it would just swear in then.
Okay, raise your right hand.
She declined the interpreter, Mr.
Do
Figueroa.
you swear affirm the testimony shall give me the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, state your name for the record.
Francine Rosario.
All right, Ms. Rosario, are you, do you currently reside with Mr. Rosario?
Yes, ma'am.
And are you in fear of him returning to the house?
No, ma'am.
You want to have contact with him?
Yes, ma'am.
Has this ever happened before?
Yes, ma'am.
And you still want him to return to the house?
I'd like him to move out, and I would like to start the proceedings for a divorce. But I'd like to have contact with him to work through that process together.
All right, and do you want to inquire?
No, Your Honor.
All right, so you feel like you would be safe if he returned to the home?
Yes, ma'am.
even if you're in the middle of a divorce and things are gonna get even more intense and stressful, you think you'll be safe if he's had an issue before and then you had this one, you think you'll be safe?
Yes, ma'am.
And if he does something to you, are you gonna call the police if he puts his hands on you, or?
Absolutely.
Has he ever threatened the children?
No.
It's always been to you?
Yes.
And do you share those kids? Are they
Yes.
shared children? All right, and Mr. Rosario does qualify for PTR. Is that something he'd be interested in?
I'm not sure what PTR is. That's fine.
Yes.
All right, I'll order PTR. I'm going to require that there be no hostile contact. That means no fighting while you're together. I'm going to require that you have no weapons, that you possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such thing, you must turn it over to the Orange County Sheriff's Department within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Again, when you turn over those weapons, if you have any, make sure you leave them in the trunk of your car and let the deputy know that you have weapons in the trunk. All right, sir, please step through there.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Mr. Figueroa, we're gonna switch over to Osceola and we'll do the Spanish there first. Right, is that what we're gonna do? How many Spanish do we have here?
We have 5 more Spanish. Yes, I have. We have to do Osceola. They emailing me.
Yeah, okay.
She just asked.
We'll do Osceola.
I know. Just give me a minute. Okay.
They're late all the time.
I know.
I remember being here with Coach Bell once and the video wasn't working. She's like, we're going with Orange first. And we did everything.
Estela, you want to go back? Push it back?
Yeah, push back a little bit. There you go, thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
I have the Spanish interpreter on the line, so we can take the Spanish.
Yes, Your Honor, el interpreter still on the line.
We have 4. Lilian Borrello Bota.
I got Orlando Bota, Lillian.
All right, Ms. Boda, you've been charged with possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, possession of cocaine, possession, use of drug paraphernalia.
Bien, señora, se le acusa de tenencia de una sustancia controlada sin receta, tenencia de cocaína y de artículos de droga.
All right, I have reviewed the affidavit. I find probable cause.
He leído la affidavit, determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
All right, it does say that she qualifies for PTR. Is that something, and I have provisionally appointed the public defender in all cases. Is that something, oh, sorry, go ahead and say it.
Veo acá que ya
good
tiene
morning.
requisito para la libertad provisional y se le ha designado defensor público.
Good morning, Your Honor. Officer Pat Hill, on behalf of PTR. Lilian Barrero Bota has no prior history and she does qualify for direct PTR without a monetary bond.
Ella no tiene ningún antecedente y reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional sin ningún tipo de fianza monetaria.
All right, counsel, is that something that your client's interested in? Have you don't have a chance?
I don't have
to
any,
way to
well, I don't speak
communicate.
Spanish.
What I'll do
Let's
is.
go with direct PTR.
I'll do the bonds or PTR in the alternative. So once she can speak to somebody about PTR.
Okay.
Bien, entonces lo que haré es, se emitirá, tendrá la opción de o pagar la fianza o la libertad provisional sin ningún tipo de fianza. Una vez que ella pueda hablar con alguien para que le explique el proceso, ella decidirá cuál prefiere, la fianza o la libertad provisional.
And what we'll do is wait 30 days before the first drug test
Y esperaremos 30 días antes del primer análisis de droga,
if she participates in PTR.
si participa en libertad provisional.
That was bond or pretrial release if she qualified.
Right. If she, once somebody talks to her and she wants to participate, it's bond or PTR.
So and then you say, drug test, you didn't order no random test.
They do it in PTR.
Oh,
They
Your Honor,
always
she
do-
would like PTR.
Okay, they always do drug testing, so I'll just say wait 30 days since it was drug charges.
so she wants PTR.
Your Honor, for clarification, we do not automatically drug test unless it's court ordered, so it would need to have it on the court order.
All right, no, I thought you did it automatically. Okay, that's fine.
No, Your Honor.
So we doing straight pretrial release? I heard her say that she wanted it.
Yes, straight pretrial release then.
Ok, se emitirá la libertad provisional directa. La jueza estaba bajo la impresión de que ellos hacían análisis de droga automáticamente y la señora del programa ha dicho que no, que ellos solo hacen análisis de droga si es ordenado por la jueza. Así que será solamente la libertad provisional sin fianza y sin análisis de droga.
And I'm not ordering that drug testing. I thought you just did it automatically.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, who's the next Spanish person?
Michael
Gracias, señora.
Neves Campus.
Orlando, I saw Orlando. Maybe not.
What's the name?
Michael Neves Campus. So is it after the board should be in?
Okay, got it. All right, sir, you've been charged with resisting an officer with violence, possession of...
Señor.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Honor. Señor, se le acusa de resistencia a la autoridad,
Possession of cocaine and possession, use of drug paraphernalia.
tenencia de cocaína y tenencia y uso de adminículos de droga.
All right, I do find probable cause.
Determinó que existe indicio de criminalidad.
I will stay the bonds at 1,000, 1,500 respectively.
Y las fianzas se fijarán en 1,000, 1,000 y 500 entre los cargos.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
And Your Honor, for the record, you'll be taking no action on the probation case. It is an interstate probation out of New Jersey.
Yeah, no.
Y su señoría, usted no tomará ninguna acción sobre respecto al caso que está en libertad vigilada. Es un caso de libertad vigilada interestatal de New Jersey.
That's right, the court take no action on that.
Correcto, no se tomará ninguna acción al respecto.
All right, thank you. Who's our next Spanish speaker?
Caroline Sierra Ramos. Caroline.
It's Sierra Ramos?
Sierra Ramos, yes.
Okay. All right. You've been charged with battery.
Fue acusado de agresión física,
Domestic violence,
violencia doméstica,
All right, I do find probable cause.
se determina que existe indicio de criminalidad.
I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima.
I'm going to require that you, it's not clear in the affidavit if you reside together, but I'm required that you maintain a separate residence.
Y no queda claro en la affidavit si ustedes viven juntos, pero tendrá que buscarse otro paradero. No puede vivir en la misma residencia.
That you possess no weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de armas blancas o armas de fuego o municiones.
If you are in possession of any such items, you must turn them over to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
Si usted está en tenencia o posesión de alguno de estos artículos, debe entregárselos a la oficina del sheriff dentro de 24 horas del momento en que quede en libertad.
All right, if you do have that and you're turning it in, make sure that you leave them in the trunk of your car and let the deputy know that you're there to turn over weapons. Don't walk into the sheriff's office with weapons in your hands.
Y si tiene alguno de estos artículos y los va a entregar a las autoridades, cuando llegue a la oficina del sheriff, deje las armas en el baúl del vehículo e infórmele al oficial que tiene las armas dentro del carro para entregarlas. No marche dentro de la oficina portando armas.
All right, and I will set bond in the amount of $1,000.
Se fijará la fianza en $1,000.
All right, thank you, ma'am.
Gracias.
That's yours.
Do we have any more Spanish speakers?
One, Felipe De La Rosa Sanchez.
Yes. All right, sir. You were charged with operating a motor vehicle without a valid driver's license.
Señor, se le acusa de conducir un vehículo sin licencia válida.
I'll find probable cause, stay the bond in the amount of $500.
Determinó que existe indicio de criminalidad y se emitirá la fianza en $500.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias.
All right, did we have any more Spanish people requiring interpreter?
Yes. Aaron Garcia Mazzola.
All right, sir, you were, okay, so you were picked up on an out-of-county warrant.
Señor, usted fue recogido por una orden de arresto de otro condado.
And the judge in that case has said no bond.
Y el juez en ese caso no ha fijado fianza.
And that's out of Dade County, Miami-Dade County.
Y eso es del condado de Miami-Dade.
So I'll stay that bond.
Así que la fianza se mantendrá.
All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias.
Do you have any others?
Gilberto Rivera Resto.
All right, Mr. Rivera, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence.
Señor, se le acusa de agresión física y violencia doméstica.
I don't see the DV component in that one. Oh, it says they've been dating. Okay, I didn't see that. All right. Yeah, so I find probable cause.
Determino que existen indicios de criminalidad.
I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim.
Se le prohíbe el contacto con la víctima.
I'm going to require that you maintain separate residence from the victim.
Debe buscarse otro paradero que no sea la misma residencia que la víctima.
I'm going to require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition.
Se le prohíbe la tenencia de un tipo de arma, ya sea arma blanca, arma de fuego o municiones.
If you own any such things, you must turn them over to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration.
Si usted tiene o posee algún tipo de arma, debe entregárselas al departamento del sheriff del condado de Osceola dentro de 24 horas del momento en que salga de la cárcel.
And I don't have anything from PTR on him since it's a reset. I don't have his sheet.
Y no tengo acá una hoja del departamento de libertad provisional.
He does not qualify for non-monetary release on PTR due to the fact that of the charge, and also he has an active warrant out of New Jersey, so he does not qualify for PTR at all.
Él no reúne los requisitos para la libertad provisional, ya que, dado la naturaleza de los cargos y dado el hecho que hay una orden de arresto en contra de él desde el estado de New Jersey.
All right, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $500, and I'm also going to require that you not consume any or possess any illegal drugs or prescription drugs that aren't prescribed to you, and that you not consume alcohol to the point of intoxication.
Bien, entonces fijaré la fianza en $500, le prohibiré la tenencia o el consumo de ningún tipo de droga, o a menos que sea alguna droga por receta que sea recetada a usted, y también se le prohíbe el consumo de alcohol hasta el punto que sus facultades estén mermadas.
All right, thank you.
Gracias.
Orlando Bota. Orlando Bota.
We only told them we had 3, now we got 7.
Okay. I think they're speaking Spanish now because it's going a little faster.
This is crazy.
All right, Mr. Bota, you've been charged with trafficking in heroin, possession with intent to sell cocaine, possession, use of drug paraphernalia, possession of a controlled substance without a prescription.
Señor, se le acusa de tenencia de heroína con tenencia para intención de vender o distribuir de cocaína con adminículos de droga y con tenencia de una sustancia regulada.
All right, and with, you have no arguments on this?
Your Honor, the bond is currently at $109,000. He has been appointed to the public defender when he filled out the application this morning. I am asking for a reduced bond amount. For him, this would be akin to no bond.
Su señoría, a él se le emitió una fianza de $109,000 y se le otorgó el defensor público cuando llenó la solicitud, así que estoy pidiendo si es posible una reducción de la fianza.
All right, so the trafficking is obviously the highest one, and I don't know if it's just based on all the baggies, and there wasn't a lot in there for the trafficking. It probably meets the minimum threshold for probable cause, but I will agree to lower the bond amount. On count one, I'll reduce count one to $10,000. Count two, I'll reduce it to $2,000. Counts 3 and 4 will be $150 each.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Bien, estoy de acuerdo que el peor cargo que tiene es el primero, el de tráfico ilegal en heroína. Me imagino que es dado el número de bolsitas que había con ello. La cantidad en sí no es mucha, pero parece que cumple con lo mínimo para que sea determinado tráfico ilegal. Así que estoy de acuerdo con reducir la fianza. En el primer cargo se emitirán $10,000, ante el segundo cargo $2,000 y ante el tercer y cuarto cargo se fijará en $150. Gracias.
All right, thank you, sir. You may leave.
Gracias, señor.
Do we have any more that require an interpreter?
One moment.
Oh, we got one more.
Jeremy Colon Morales. Apparently everyone now speaks only Spanish, Your Honor.
Yeah, that happens in the courtrooms over here too. All right, sir, you've been charged with reckless driving. I have reviewed the affidavit. There is probable cause.
Señor, usted se le acusa de conducir de manera temeraria. He leído la affidavit y determinó que existen indicios de criminalidad.
I'm going to stay the bond in the amount of $500.
Se mantendrá la fianza en $500.
Yeah. All right, thank you.
Gracias.
All right, any other people require the services of the Spanish interpreter?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Mr. Figueroa, we have a few Spanish left in Orange County, so do you want to disconnect and I'll call you back, or?
I'll just stay on the line, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, who's up? Elizabeth Ader. All right, ma'am, you've been charged with trespass in an occupied structure, battery, 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, and resisting an officer with violence. I've reviewed the affidavit and I do find probable cause, and I'll stay the bonds at $500, $2,500, $2,500, $2,500.
May I say something?
Is you saying something to me? I can't hear.
Yes, I am pregnant, and I was attacked in a parking lot. I'm in maternity leave. I was attacked.
All right, that's a factual matter. This is just initial appearance. That's a factual matter that can be resolved at trial. I can't try the case right now. This is solely the initial appearance to find out there was probable cause and to set a bond amount, and I've done that. Thank you, ma'am. Move along.
Oh, they gotta put their phone.
Fantaza. Sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name. Skyland Fantaza.
Your Honor, on this one, I did speak with her, and she is requesting, if this court's inclined, to order no hostile contact. I spoke with PTR, and they did attempt to contact the victim, but they didn't get a hold of her. They do live together, and the victim is her mom, and her mom helps her take care of her 1-year-old son. And so we are asking if this court would consider ordering no hostile instead of no contact.
I can't. Without hearing from the alleged victim, I can't order that.
He said that the defendant mic is not turned on.
All right, is it the court reporter? Yes. All right, the court reporter is indicating that the mic that the defendants use is not turned on. If it could be turned on so that the court reporter can record what people are saying. All right, so I do find probable cause. I'll set bond. She doesn't qualify for PTR. I'll set bond in the amount of $1,000, and I'm going to require no contact because I have to hear from the victim before I can do no hostile contact. I have to hear from the victim. But I will require, go ahead.
She wants to know if there's any way to call her. Apparently, this has happened before, and they called her from an initial appearance, so she wants to know if there's any way that the court can attempt to call her.
I can roll your case till tomorrow, and we can try to get in touch with her.
She said it's all right.
Okay. All right. So I will require you to maintain a separate residence. You may return to that residence one time to retrieve your personal belongings. I require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such thing, you must turn it over to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. If you turn in any weapons, make sure you leave them in the trunk of your car and go in and get a deputy. Don't walk in to the sheriff's office with weapons in your hand. I'll set bond, did I already say it, in the amount of $1,000. All right, thank you, ma'am. James Greenwald. All right, sir, you were picked up on a writ of bodily attachment, and you do have a cash purge of $1,000, so I will stay that.
Can you tell me what county that is?
Do we know what county the writ of bodily attachment was issued out of?
I see it marked as St. Lucie.
Yes, St. Lucie.
All right, thank you. Jeannie Hamilton. All right, ma'am, you were arrested for a warrant for a violation of probation. And the judge in that case set it with no bond, so I will stay that. It's Osceola County.
Is it for a VOP Willis? DWLS?
That's what it says.
I I can't just put warrant arrest on him, asking, can they verify?
Yes, it's a violation of probation with the underlying charge of driving without a driver's license, I believe. Yes.
Driving while license suspended.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
All right, the judge must set it at no bond because you must have had several missed dates, so. All right, ma'am, thank you. Gregory Heiss. All right, sir, you have 2 counts, petty theft, 2 or more prior convictions, and abuse of an elderly person. Or disabled. All right, there is probable cause. I'll stay the bond on count 1 of $1,000. On count 2, I'll lower the bond to $250. And then I'll order no contact with the victim, with the alleged victim. All right, thank you. Serafan Olivares. Okay. So we have resisting arrest without violence, fleeing and eluding a marked patrol vehicle, and then driving while license suspended, fleeing, eluding with lights and siren activated, operating a motorcycle without a license, no motor vehicle registration, and reckless driving.
He got 2.
Yeah, I already said that. I said that first. I said the resisting first and then the other one. I just wanted to make sure of the dates. So on 313 because he's got fleeing and eluding twice. Let me see if it's the same. So one was about an hour apart from each other, so there was 2 separate incidences. All right, I'll find probable cause on all of them. On the one charge of resisting an officer without violence, I'll stay the bond at $500. And the one fleeing and eluding a marked patrol vehicle that is a standalone case, I'll set bond in the amount of $1,000. And in the third case with all of the charges, I'll stay the bond of driving while license suspended at $500. The second fleeing and eluding, I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500. And the remaining counts of operating a motorcycle without a license, no motor vehicle registration, and reckless driving. I'll set bond in the amount of $150. Oh, well, he did qualify for PTR. But you know what, all of these incidences in one evening and the circumstances, I'm not gonna order PTR.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Luke Pierre,
And Your Honor, I've spoken with Mr. Pierre. This is a failure to appear at a VOP arraignment. He told me he was not aware of the court date, that he changed his address with probation, so he didn't actually receive notice. I don't believe that it was willful. He's being held zero bond. He originally was, obviously, he originally had a bond. He says that the underlying VOP, the only allegations is that he owes money, and he does have a job. If he were held zero bond, he would lose his job. He is planning on paying the remaining costs before his VOP hearing. So I know that the warrant was signed at zero bond, but given that the address change with probation, I am asking if this court would impose a bond. It's only financial that he owes.
and what bond are you proposing?
I believe this is Judge Arendis, and usually she imposes $2,000 bonds, and he said he would be okay with the $2,000 bond.
All right, I'll set it at $2,000 bond. Because it's not a capias, right? It's just a, but yeah, it wasn't, a capias wasn't issued, right? Because I'm not allowed to change a capias, but I think I can on FTA.
Thank you, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Donald Ramsey. Mr. Ramsey, you've been in charge with battery, touch or strike, domestic violence. I do find probable cause. I'm going to set bond in the amount of $1,000. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the alleged victim in the case. I'm going to require that you maintain, it doesn't say in here if you reside together, but I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence. If you do reside together, I'll allow you to return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve your personal belongings. I'm going to require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such things, you must turn them in to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Thank you, sir. Rand Robinson.
That's going to have to be reset. He's in medical, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Robinson to tomorrow. Michelle Stevenson. All right, I do find probable cause, and she qualifies for PTR. Is that something that she's interested in?
Yes.
All right, I'll order PTR. All right, thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Tennyson. All right, Ms. Tennyson, you're here on a failure to appear on a written promise. And that's on a felony in Judge Tynan's division. And he has set this at no bond, so I will stay that. Yerson Villa. That's all, ma'am. Thank you.
Your Honor, I believe he is entitled to a bond on all charges, so I am asking for a bond to be imposed.
And for the record, Your Honor, he has no prior arrest.
So he's entitled to a bond on all those ag assaults?
I believe so, Your Honor.
State, you got a position on that? It's not a PBL, right? It's third degree felony?
Correct, Your Honor.
All right, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, and 2 counts of battery. I do find probable cause on all of them. All right, on count 1, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $10,000. And the remaining counts, I'll set bond in the amount of $150.
Even the 2 DVs,
They're not DVs.
the 2 at the bottom.
They're just batteries. It's
I
not
mean,
domestic violence.
I'm sorry, yeah, so those are not people also?
Yes. I'm going to require, sir, that you not have any contact with the alleged victims in this case, that you not return to the scene. I'm going to require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any other weapons other than the one that was taken at the scene, I'm going to require that you turn that in to the Osceola County Sheriff's Office within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Again, if you're turning in weapons, make sure you leave them in the trunk of the car and let the deputies know you're there to turn in weapons. All right, anything else we need to address on that one?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Jewel Williams. All right, this was a failure to appear on a written promise, and the judge did set a bond amount of $2,000, so I'll state that. Thank you, Ms. Williams. Jeffrey Lynn Brown. All right, sir, you're being held on a failure to appear on a written promise And the judge in that case did not set a bond amount. So I will stay that. Ezel Levy?
We are asking.
Yes, go ahead.
On Jeffrey Brown, it was at the stage of the pretrial conference, and he has stated that he didn't know about the court date and that he's never failed to appear before if this court would be inclined.
I see on here that he's transient, and my guess is that's why Judge Karsten put no bond, to make sure that he gets to court and that the judge can see him, so I'm gonna stay the no bond.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Ezel Levy?
This was the case with the probable cause argument for loitering and prowling. It was
Yes,
reset
oh,
from
and so
yesterday.
this was, did we find out about the warrant being canceled? Or no, what? No, sorry, I'm
No,
getting the
that
cases
was-
confused. Sorry. All right, State, were you able to get an additional?
No, Your Honor. The only additional information that the officer provided was that the defendant was found trespassing in a construction site and didn't have permission to be there. That was the only other additional information the state was provided.
All right, I don't think there's probable
That's-
cause for the loitering or prowling. So I'll ROR him on that charge. But he does have a violation of probation out of Hillsborough County. And that one has no bond. Okay, so there is also the driving while license suspended with second or subsequent, and I'll stay that bond at 2,500.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
And, Your Honor, in addition, for the record, he is currently out on bond out of a Polk County case for the charges of duelist, possession of meth, possession of paraphernalia. He was just released on February 14th of this year on that.
You can't take out.
I can't take action on that.
Yes,
You
yes, Your
have-
Honor, I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Can I have the case number, please?
20 CF 1255.
Gina Gonzalez Vargas.
Coming up. Your Honor, the corrections staff has asked that I ask for an ROR for Baker Act purposes.
On Gonzalez Vargas.
Yes.
All right, I'll grant the ROR for Baker Act purposes. It is DB though, so I do have to order no contact, no weapons, ammunition, firearms, maintain separate residence, may return one time in the presence of law enforcement officers to retrieve personal belongings.
Thank you.
All right, and that's all I had for Osceola. And so.
Has everyone been called? All right, thank you.
All right, thank you all. I'm going to disconnect from you now, hopefully. She said it was a bond out of Nellis County, was it Polk?
Yes. These little things, they want everything on this.
All right, Mr. Figueroa, are you still with us?
Yes, Your Honor. The interpreter is still here.
Okay. I think we have just a handful. We'll see.
We just have a handful. See, we have a list right.
You sure? No more items?
No, well, it's different. We don't have them all in one room, seeing that it goes faster.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, Your Honor.
All right, the defendant has on the headsets whenever you can make contact.
He can hear me, Your Honor.
All right, please state your name, sir.
Emilio Enrique Méndez Juárez.
Emilio Enrique Méndez Juárez.
Sí.
All right, sir, you've been charged with false imprisonment and battery, domestic violence. All right, I do find probable cause. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim, including the minor children that you have in common. I'm going to require that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such items, you must turn them over to the Orange County Sheriff's within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. I'm going to require that you not consume alcohol to the point of intoxication. And I will set bond in the amount of $500 on count 1 and $500 on count 2. Thank you. All right, please tell me your name.
Jamin Rodriguez.
Jamin Rodriguez.
Ms. Rodriguez, you've been charged with battery, domestic violence. All right, I find probable cause. I'm going to require that you have no contact with the victim, that you not possess any weapons, firearms, or ammunition. If you own any such things, I'm going to require that you turn them over to the Orange County Sheriff within 24 hours of your release from incarceration. Now, do you currently reside with your mother? You reside in the same household?
Sí.
Yes, yes.
The face sheet, she said that she'd be able to live with her boyfriend as an alternative address.
All right, I'm going to require that you maintain a separate residence from your mother. I'll allow you to return one time. I'll allow you to return one time in the presence of law enforcement to obtain your personal belongings. Now, it does say that she qualifies for PTR. Is that something that your client, that she'd be interested in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, I'll order a pretrial release. Oh, sorry. Thank you. All right, please state your name.
Deborah Diaz.
Deborah Diaz.
All right, you've been charged with trafficking in fentanyl, possession of cocaine with intent to sell or deliver, tampering with physical evidence, and resisting an officer without violence. I will find probable cause. On count one, do you want to be heard on the bonds, counsel, or
Is count one the child neglect?
$100,000 one? Yeah.
Yes. I would note that she only has one misdemeanor conviction for driving on a suspended license. Other than that, she doesn't have any other criminal history that I can see in front of me. So I would be asking that you set a reasonable bond, given that she's entitled to one. I believe neglect is a third-degree felony.
On count one, I'll reduce the bond to $10,000, and I'll stay the bonds on counts 2, 3, and 4.
And those are in what amounts?
On count 2, it's 150, count 3, 150, count 4, 100.
Is that all the cases?
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I just see more charges. They don't separate it for me, it's just.
All right, neglect of a child, great bodily harm. On that case, I'll stay it at $5,000. And then the possession of cannabis less than 20 grams and possession of drug paraphernalia, all ROR. Please state your name. Oh, once you get the headsets on. Okay. Please tell me your name.
Luis Gandarilla. Luis Gandarilla.
Luis Gandarilla.
All right. And so we have several things going on here too. We have the neglect of a child, great bodily harm. I'll stay that at the $5,000. And we have also the trafficking in fentanyl. I'll reduce that to $10,000. And I'll stay the bonds on the remaining 7, and I'll go over those with you. Count 2, 150. Count 3, 150. Count 4, 150. Count 5, 150. Count 6, 100. Count 7, 100. Count 8, 100. And then also, sir, you have 4 failure to appears, and the court in that case set each one of them at 0 bond, so I will stay that. It's a KPS, I can't change it anyway.
Yes.
All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Mixar Ramirez.
Mixar Ramirez.
All right, sir, you've been charged with lewd or lascivious battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and lewd or lascivious conduct by a person over 17.
No comprendí bien.
Okay. There, There is probable cause. And I'm entitled to set a bond at IA's, or?
Yes, these are secondary felonies. If the child were under 12, those are capital or life offenses. But because of the age of the alleged victim, they are secondary felonies. I looked it up this morning because I always have to look with the sex cases.
Okay. All right. I do find probable cause. I'm going to require, sir, that you not have any contact with Marie. You cannot contact her once you're released, if you're able to make bond. On count 1, I'm going to set bond in the amount of $5,000. Count 2, $150, and count 3, $150. Sir, by no contact, I also mean you cannot use social media, texting, Facebook, Snapchat, or any of the other platforms attempt to contact her. So it's face-to-face and other means, no contact. Okay.
You have to advise him that he has an immigration attorney.
Oh, and sir, you also have an immigration detainer. Okay.
Okay. Entonces.
Was that it for our Spanish speakers, or?
Yes.
Mr. Figueroa, thank you for your services this morning. I appreciate it, and this afternoon.
Not a problem, Your Honor. You guys have a good rest of your weekend.
Thank you, you also. All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Anthony Davis.
Mr. Davis, you've been charged with possession of cocaine and possession of drug paraphernalia. All right, there is probable cause. I'll stay the bonds. That's count 1 of 1,000. I'll stay the bond on count 1 of 1,000. On count 2, the possession of drug paraphernalia, I'll reduce it to 150. Please tell me your name.
LeVars.
Foster?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Foster, we have a couple of things here. We have a warrant, an arrest. Okay, so it was an arrest warrant on a possession of cocaine. So a judge already found probable cause on that one. And then we have another charge of possession of drug paraphernalia. Wasn't field tested, but it's not marijuana, it was cocaine. All right, so there is probable cause for that. On the arrest warrant, I'll stay the bond of $1,000 on the possession of cocaine. On the possession of drug paraphernalia, I'll reduce the bond to $150. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Jenke.
Judy?
Jenke.
Judy Bluesman is mental health, Your Honor.
All right, it will be reset. All right, Miss Jenke, you were arrested for uttering forged bills or notes.
Yes.
Yep, there is probable cause. Now, she does qualify for PTR. Is that something she'd be interested in?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I'll order pretrial release. Just make sure that you make all of your court appearances or you'll be arrested again.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Dennis Joel.
Mr. Joel. All right, what do we got here? We have a citation for operating a motor vehicle or a motorcycle without the endorsement. And possession of cocaine. All right, there is probable cause. I'll stay the bond on the possession of cocaine at $150, and on the no motorcycle endorsement, I'll reduce that bond to,
Judge, I'm sorry, the cocaine is $2,000. They did a bond correction on top.
oh, they did a bond, okay, sorry, thank you, I didn't
Thought
notice that.
was odd.
Huh?
I thought that was odd.
Okay, so I'll stay the bond at $2,000, and on the no motorcycle endorsement, I'll reduce it to $150.
Okay, it's 2,000?
Yes.
The cops had told me it was 1,000.
Cops don't know anything.
Please tell me your name.
Marcus Johnson.
All right, Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with burglary of a structure.
Your Honor, I had a probable cause challenge for this one.
Okay, go ahead.
In the my argument is that there is no intent to commit a crime therein. In the arrest affidavit, it says that they were in the portable because they were bored and walking around. There's no evidence that they intended to commit a crime therein, and trespassing doesn't count as that crime therein.
State.
One moment, Your Honor. Your Honor, I'm inclined to agree, but I can request 24 hours if you'd like.
All right, so I'll give him the 24 hours, but he qualifies for PTR, would you?
Right. Yeah, let me talk to him.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, he would like PCR.
All right, so you'll withdraw the PC challenge?
Yes.
Because it can always be raised later, right, in a suppression?
It could.
Okay. All right, so you're not waiving it by not raising it? All right, so I'll order pretrial release.
Judge, are you going to say any conditions?
Yes, I'm gonna require that you not return to the scene. And I'm also going to require that you not commit any new law violations. And I'm inclined to tell you, I'm also going to say that you can't, no contact with your co-defendants. Yeah, because you don't need to all be getting in trouble together. Just go to work and go home so you don't spread COVID-19.
Thank you.
All right. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Yes, ma'am. John Judkins.
All right, sir. We got a couple of cases here. We got possession of synthetic cannabinoids, possession of drug paraphernalia, and an open container of an alcoholic beverage. All right, there is probable cause. Set bond is no PTR, right? Yeah. On the open container, RR, on the other one, on the possession of the synthetic drugs, set bond in it. Is your client going to be able to make any bond? Is it tantamount to
Yes,
no bond?
yes.
What state, do you have a position on ROR and on everything?
The state has no objection.
All right, so I'll release you on everything, but you have to make your next court appearance.
I do, ma'am. I went to my last one before when I was released.
All right, because the one is a felony, so we won't have your court date right now. It'll be mailed to you, so where are we going, how are we gonna be able to get in touch with you to mail you?
I'm gonna give him our office's contact information so he can find out who his attorney is and check in with them.
Okay, so make sure you stay in contact with the public defender assigned to your case, because you won't know yet the date for the felony. That'll come out later. So make sure you stay in contact with the public defender so you don't miss any court appearances.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, and it is two separate cases, so you can get your court date today on the open container. I'm sure they're gonna have that for whoever at arraignments, but your felony, you won't get that today.
Okay.
All right, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Nicholas Luckin, ma'am.
All right, sir. You've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm and discharging your firearm in public.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, there is probable cause. All right, on count one, I'll set bond in the amount of $2,500, and count two, I'll set bond in the amount of $150.
Okay, thank you.
Please tell me your name.
My name is Daquan Lawson.
Mr. Lawson,
Yes, ma'am, Lawson.
you've been charged with grand theft, third-degree motor vehicle. All right, there is probable cause. I'll stay the bond in the, he does qualify for PTR. Is he interested in?
Yes, he is.
All right, I'll order pretrial release.
Take this paper.
Yep, that's yours.
Don't commit any new law violations. All right, please step forward and tell me your name.
Michael Lewis.
Mr. Lewis. All right. You were issued a citation and arrested for driving while license revoked as an habitual traffic offender. Yeah, okay, so the revocation was in 2016, so there is probable cause. All right, I'll stay the bond at 2,500. What is this?
Oh, no, it's just saying.
Can I say something to you?
Probably not.
No, you don't, please.
It's probably not in your best interest. Everything that you say in here is being recorded, and the state can and will use it against you. You may inadvertently admit some elements of the offense that you've been charged with if you start telling me your side of it. Also, there's a mandatory 10-day sentence for if you have, is it 2 or 3 prior convictions? So if you do your time now, you might be able to have a credit for time served plea later on.
You have a hold? Oh, he was questioning, do they have a hold on him?
Yes, he has a VFOSD hold right now.
That, was he on probation or something?
What is that?
He's VSOC, yeah. So why they have them, find the hold on him?
He's on probation.
Oh, he's on probation, so they get a, they hold, he will find a hold, which means get a probation officer time nothing.
Oh.
If they don't find nothing in 5 days, then he get brought out.
Okay, so you're on a hold for the 5-day hold, and that started when he was arrested?
Yes.
Okay.
So, yeah, so that's where, yeah, he
Yeah, that's why you can't bond out, because you still have a hold.
It's not to, because it's probation violation.
Yeah. All right, sir, please tell me your name.
Joe Nathan Mass.
Mr. Massey. All right, sir. You've been charged with possession of cocaine with intent to sell, manufacture, or deliver, possession of coke, 2 counts of that, and resisting an officer without violence, and possession or use of drug equipment. All right, do you want to be heard on the bonds, or is it okay to stay them, or do you have anything?
I would just ask that, since it seems like the first 2 counts are duplicative, I don't know how he could have 2 counts of that. So I would just ask that you significantly reduce that second one. And those are
It's only
F2s.
150, it's 15,000, 150, 100, 100.
One moment. Your Honor, we would just ask that you, I'm asking for a $5,000 bond. He cannot afford a $15,000 bond, at least on the first count.
Yeah, the only thing on the trafficking was the packaging, so I'll reduce it to 5,000. And then on count, I'll stay the bonds on 2, 3, and 4, and it's 150, 100, 100.
Thanks so much.
All right, please tell me your name.
Zachariah McKnight.
Mr. McKnight. You've been charged with carjacking. And that was through a warrant. So there is probable cause. I will stay the bond.
Your Honor, would you consider reducing the bond considering his limited criminal history? I understand it's a serious charge, but would you consider cutting the bond in half considering his only conviction is a juvenile case and it's for loitering and prowling?
Oh, yeah, no, this was the Uber driver? Yeah, no.
Okay.
And Judge, it also says no contact with the victim.
And the arrest warrant also said no contact with the alleged victim.
Okay.
Please tell me your name.
Diana Morales.
All right, ma'am, you were arrested for fraud, impersonating, misrepresenting self, resisting an officer without violence, and possession of a fictitious ID. All right, I do find probable cause. I'll stay the bond in the amount of $2,000 on count 1. On count 2, I'll set bond in the amount of $150. On count 3, I'll set bond in the amount of $150.
That was it.
Please tell me your name.
Eric Randall.
Mr. Randall, you were arrested for fleeing, attempting to elude a police officer. All right, it does, says he's qualified for PTR, but I'm concerned about this. In the affidavit, you indicated that you did in fact see the officers with their lights on and then eluding them and then attempting to hide the bike before the motorcycle before they found you. What are you saying?
I'm asking for pretrial release, and there's two sides to every story, and obviously he can't challenge the facts to you right now without incriminating himself. So I would ask for pretrial release since he qualifies in his limited criminal history.
All right, I'll order pretrial release, and I'll require that you not commit any new law violations. Please step forward and tell me your name.
First name Harold, last name Rasman.
Mr. Rasman, you've been charged with grand theft motor vehicle. All right, I do find probable cause, and I'll stay the bond at $1,000.
It doesn't matter for today.
Oh, okay.
They're just setting bonds today.
Someone bonds the
Yep.
All right, please step forward and tell me your name.
Matthew Sharp.
Mr. Sharp, You were issued a citation for fleeing and eluding police, disregard for safety. There wasn't, there's not another case? The drugs weren't charged? There's only the one case?
I don't have that. We're on Mr. Sharp, right?
Yeah.
I only have the fleeing to a.
Okay. All right, I do find probable cause and I'll set bond. Do you want to propose something? He does not qualify for PPR.
Yes, I understand that. Your Honor, that's for a $5,000 bond. It seems that his criminal history seems to just solely be drug possessions and driving on a suspended license, just one.
All right, I'll set bond in the amount of $5,000. Please tell me your name.
Taylor.
Mr. Taylor?
Yes.
Is that what you said? All right, sir, you've been charged with aggravated assault with a firearm, possession of a concealed weapon or firearm by a convicted felon, and carrying a concealed weapon. Okay. All right, there is probable cause. Is it Agasol, is he entitled to a bond on that one, or no?
Yes, that one's a third-degree felony. The possession of a firearm by a convicted felon is a second-degree felony, and carrying a concealed weapon is a third-degree felony.
All right, what's your recommendation for the Agasol?
I would ask that a reasonable bond be set.
All right, on the aggravated assault with the firearm, I'll set bond in the amount of, is $5,000 reasonable?
I think so.
All right, a $5,000 bond on that, and then I'll stay the bonds on the other two, and that is $150 on count 2 and $100 on count 3. Take your word for it. Please tell me your name.
James Waples.
Mr. Waple, you have got 2 failure to appears here, and it's a capias, and the judge in that case set 0 bond, so I'm required to stay that. I can't change what that judge said. Please tell me your name.
Benjamin Winkleman.
This is the co-defendant for my prior probable cause challenge, but he also qualifies for PTR, so.
All right, so does he want to participate in PTR?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I'll order PTR, but like I told your co-defendant, the conditions are that you not commit any new law violations, that you not have contact with your co-defendant.
Yes, ma'am.
Did I order anything else in the other one?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, sir. Please tell me your name.
Everyone right?
All right, Mr. Wrighton, you were arrested for uttering forged bills or notes, and there is probable cause, and I'll stay the, he's eligible for a PTR.
Yes, Your Honor, he does want PTR.
All right, I'll order pretrial release. And so, sir, that you cannot commit any new law violations, and also you have to make all of your court appearances.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, sir, thank you.
Thank you.
PTR. All right, please tell me your name.
Oscar Walter.
Mr. Walter, see here, we have a capias on failure to appear, and the judge in that case set bond in the amount of $2,000, so I will stay that bond. All right, please tell me your name.
Marie Elizabeth DiGiovanni.
All right, Miss DiGiovanni. Let's see here. All right, you were issued a citation for driving while license suspended. Oh, I said, I just saw this. I just read this, PC, okay. There is probable cause. I'll stay the bond in the amount of $500. However, I am revoking your bond in your felony case.
Your Honor, if I may be heard on that,
You
no
may.
information's been filed in that case, and she was arrested back in January 11th, 2020.
All right, there hasn't been an information filed?
No, Your Honor, I checked this morning.
All right, since there has not been an information filed, I won't revoke the bond.
Thank you.
Please tell me your name.
Frank Felipe Sanchez, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Sanchez, what do we got here? All right, so we have a new law violation of driving while license suspended, and you have a failure to appear in your DUI case. And that one is set at no bond. So, oh, and you have another one. Oh, okay. Another failure to appear in a case of no motor vehicle registration. And that, the judge also set that at no bond. So on those two cases, I will stay the no bond. And on your driving while license, your new violation of driving while license suspended.
Judge, that's the old case, it's 2019 CT. He was out on bond on that case, but the bonds became off and it did endorsement. He was never IA, so we just IA'd him on it today. So his bond is 500 on that.
Okay, I'll stay, yeah, all right. I was gonna stay it anyway.
I know not to take, the facts don't matter today.
This one. Oh, thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Alicia Marie Brown.
Miss Brown, you were arrested for resisting an officer without violence and possession of drug paraphernalia. All right, I'll find probable cause, and I'll stay the bonds. It was $500 on count one and $100 on count two. Please step forward and tell me your name.
Philip Golightly.
All right, Mr. Golightly. What do we got here? So we have a possession of drug paraphernalia, and open container. How much time served does he have?
He has 2 days.
2 days, and there was a field test. If it's okay with the state, if we want to resolve it today, it would be, based on the history, it'd be an adjudication on both of them, credit for time served and assessment of court costs, which I give them time to pay off.
There's no objection from the state.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Golightly, is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement today?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking?
No, ma'am.
On the charges of an open container and possession of drug paraphernalia, how do you plead?
No contest, please.
I'll accept your plea of no contest. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty on both counts. I'm going to sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail to run concurrent and give you credit for time served of 2 days on each count or each charge. I'm going to assess mandatory court costs. As to the financial obligations, I'm going to give you 1 year to pay that off. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, please tell me your name.
Brittany Lugo.
All right, Ms. Lugo, you have a new law violation of trespass on property after warning, and I do find probable cause. I'll stay the bond at 500, and,
Your Honor, her out on bond cases and information hasn't been filed in either of those cases.
in either of them?
Nope. She was arrested on the burglary of a dwelling in 2019 CF 17108 on December 17th, and then the destruction of evidence, the 2020 case. That's, that arrest date was in February 17th.
Okay. Since an information hasn't been filed on either of those cases, I won't revoke the bond.
Okay.
Please tell me your name.
Tony Jackson.
Mr. Jackson. All right, looks like you were picked up on a warrant for VOP, and it's out of Seminole County and Clay. So you've got two different ones. All right, so they both, it has a bond, so the Judge Collins, that's Seminole County, right? That one's got a bond of $252, is that right?
It's Clay County, is that? It's $252.
But what about the other one?
It's right up there, the affidavit is right up, keep it.
Here?
And the bond there is.
Oh, for the recents.
$15,002.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so both of them have bonds, so I will stay those bonds. That's okay. Please tell me your name. Mr. Klug, you, this is out-of-county warrant, and the judge in that case, it's Lake County, and the judge put bond at $5,000, so I'll stay that bond.
Your Honor,
Please.
the next one is Jasmine Coleman. Oh, she's mental health, okay.
All right, we'll reset Ms. Coleman. 24 hours? Or tomorrow, just tomorrow. All right, and is this Ms. Lysandra Denise Denmark?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. And this, this is an arrest warrant for possession of MDMA, and I will stay the bond at $1,000. Please tell me your name.
Gitwa Guerrier.
Oh, Your Honor, this is a reset from yesterday where I challenged the probable cause on the battery by strangulation.
And the state did not get additional probable cause. The officer can't say whether her area was restricted.
All right, so, and we had the victim here, right?
Yes.
And did I already do the order on that then?
See, I marked the box.
Oh, this is mine, okay. So I already set them at, I already did everything, so we're just dealing with the battery by strangulation, domestic violence. I find no probable cause, and I'll ROR them on count 2. And then we set everything else yesterday.
Yes.
Okay. Please tell me your name.
Michael Johnson is medical, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset them tomorrow.
Kilaja Pompey.
And then we have a Felicia Manco, she's medical as well.
All right, we'll reset her for tomorrow as well.
We have a Amanda Trail, she's medical, Your Honor.
Okay, all of them medical,
Amanda Trail, okay.
I don't know when they're gonna be able to come, because they're, you know.
Respiratory concerns.
Yeah.
What?
Respiratory concerns.
Oh, okay, well, we'll just keep resetting them. And now we're to Mr. Walker.
Walker refused, Your Honor.
All right, we'll reset Mr. Walker to tomorrow. And now,
Elijah Pompey.
all right, Mr. Pompey.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my, you got a thick stack here. Let's see, what do we got?
I think you're just here for the BOP.
Pay to
Oh, I did not get affidavits for any of those.
All right, so we got a few things. We'll address them. Let's start with the failure to appear. So you have a capias for a failure to appear. And that is no bond, so I will stay that. You have a violation of probation warrant that the judge set it at $1,500 plus twice weekly face-to-face PTR. I will stay that. Then you have another violation of probation, and the judge set bond in the amount of $5,000. So I will stay that. And then you have a new law, violations of possession of cocaine, resisting an officer without violence, and possession of meth. I do find probable cause for that, and I'll stay the bonds, and they are $1,500. Oh, I'm actually gonna reduce count 3 to $150.
So those the drug cases, the bonds, sorry, was that 1,500 or 1,500?
1,000 for count 1, 500 for count 2, and I'm reducing the bond on count 3 to $150. That, Ian Adams bonded, Your Honor? All right, Adams bonded. And Sebastian Francia.
Bonded as well.
And sir, what's your name?
Dennis Hoover.
Mr. Hoover. All right, what do we got here? We got a disorderly conduct. Yeah, how's he out on, this one? It's not checked on the other MO case? It's not, nothing is, checked. What's he out on?
I think it's ROR, let me check. Yes, it was ROR.
It's ROR?
Yes.
Okay.
The initial appearance judge, ROR'd him on that charge.
All right, so Mr. Hoover, keep getting ROR'd and then you go out and you commit new offenses allegedly.
Panhandling.
Huh?
Wait, is this one the panhandling one, or, yeah?
Well, then I
Or
wanna
is this
get-
camping?
I don't believe no camping charges, so I know that's not allowed.
Oh, okay.
Because
Yeah.
disorderly conduct is, every time
Yeah.
on panhandle, that's, so, I mean, I would ask,
Do you want to resolve that new case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Can we do that? How much time, sir?
2 days.
Yeah, can we do it with the, what does that mean?
No.
That's just, yeah, okay. All right.
I'll go to prison probably.
So we'll do it, credit for time
I've been to
served,
prison
adjudication, and
7
court
times. I would
costs.
never do probation.
He's taking no action on his.
And then I'll take no action on his 2 RORs.
Thank you, Your Honor.
No, I care about y'all like I care about Orlando PD.
I can resolve his
Y'all all
other
work
one.
for the same company.
No, don't reach out.
I know y'all.
All right, sir, is anybody forcing you, Mr. Hoover? Is anybody forcing you to enter into this plea agreement today?
No, ma'am.
Are you under the influence of any drugs, alcohol, or medication that would impair your thinking?
No, ma'am.
All right, on the new charge of disorderly conduct, how do you plead?
Guilty.
I'll accept your plea of guilty. I'm going to adjudicate you guilty. I'm going to sentence you to 2 days in the Orange County Jail and give you credit for time served of 2 days. I'm also going to assess mandatory court costs, and I'll reduce that to a civil judgment.
Thank you.
Means I get to walk back on the street. Y'all can arrest me at Wawa's again.
We'll see you tomorrow.
You know it.
I know.
He's never been to prison, I don't know what.
That's it.